round of applause to Elias, Melas.
Thank you, Len. Give me some love. Len, give me some love. Well, I want to give you some love too, and thank you very much, Len. So now it's time for our featured speaker, and as we have a tradition here at the GNA, we send our speaker all the way to the back. So John Rehnberg, you are in San Jose now. So you stand up and walk all the way to the back.
Sounds like a perp walk.
Well,
And John, just to let you know, this is a farther way walk back than San Bruno.
right outside the It's windy too. And we do that, John, because we want our featured speakers to make that grand entrance, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep going.
So, John's going to take you outside afterwards, Eric. So, I first met John when we were members of the San Jose Silicon Valley Chamber of Commerce, and this was about a year and a half ago or so. Len Walter and I were running this business referral network group for the Chamber of Commerce, and met John. Just really loved his personality. He's a really, really big guy, but he's such a sweetheart too, right, John? Unless you do something wrong, he's a sweetheart, right? And so over the course of time, I got to know John. He was coming around to a bunch of our events, and he's even been to San Bruno as well. He's a tremendous pay-it-forward type of guy. And he's in a business that, we all need to learn more about. And how many of you here have heard of LegalShield, formerly known as Prepaid Legal? And there are a lot of people out there, selling this product, but I've never heard anybody present it the way John presents it. He's just a really honest guy, and he truly has a passion for it. So, today John will give us an overview on LegalShield, including identity theft and what can be done to prevent it. On that note, I'd like you all to please rise to your feet. Come on, please rise to your feet and give a big warm cheers. Welcome to John Rehnberg!
I do a moonwalk, but concrete is not good.
It's all yours. Please don't hurt you.
Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it a lot. They say, speakers are supposed to come up with something perhaps humorous to break the ice with the audience and everything. And like a song that you can't get out of your head. I have a story that I'm here lately has not been able to get out of my head, and I seem to drive my wife nuts. I tell it to everybody that I come across. It's a great indication of things like positive attitude and what have you, goal orientation. So a pirate walks into a bar, and the bartender says, I haven't seen you in a long time in these parts. What's wrong? You look terrible. What's up with that leg, that peg? I was in a battle and a cannonball took off the lower part of my leg. But I got me a peg and I'm good as new. I'm stumping all over the place. And they said, well, that's all right. That's fine. What's up with that hook? Arr! Somebody got lucky. Some bloke got lucky and just loped off my wrist. But I got me a hook and I'm just good as new. And he says, all right. But what's up with that eye patch? What happened there? Arr! I looked up right in the middle of the battle and a flock of seagulls coming by, and one of them cracked in the eye. He goes, what? You can't lose an eye over that. Arr! It's first day with the hook. And then what it says to me is, overcoming adversity, you keep going forward with a positive attitude, and you always keep your eye on your goal, even if you only have one left. I just thought of that as I was sitting there. I don't know that. Anyway, so listen, I want to do this, in a concise manner, as informative as possible. And I put together these handouts for you guys to take a look at. It's something to refer to because I'm just gonna skim over this. Would you do me a favor and pass this around? And I'd just like to give you a quick overview on what LegalShield is all about. But first I'd like to just preface it by saying, you know, in Washington, D.C., the Justice Department etched in stone over the entrance is something to the effect of justice for all. Well, what they should have done in this country is etched a little addition to that, justice for all who can afford it. Because the average American is priced out of the justice system. Truly speaking, the very first thing that someone needs to do in this country, if they need legal service, legal advice, direction, whatever, is to make a financial decision. Because in California particularly, the average hourly rate for an attorney is about $350 an hour average. And, you know, that's just a high ticket for most of us. So you think twice, you try to resolve it yourself, you hope it'll, you know, you avoid it, go away, but it comes back and gets you eventually. So, over 40 years ago, a gentleman by the name of Harlan Stonecipher, with his insurance broker back in Oklahoma, got in a horrific accident. Wasn't his fault. And he had the insurance for the automobile and for his health and whatever. But you know what? The person who caused the accident thought they could sue him, take him to court. He was defeated, but Mr. Stonecipher had to spend all kinds of money to defend himself. And out of that was born the concept of legal services, prepaid as it was. And last fall in September in Dallas, the company was purchased by a private equity group and changed the name, rebranded it to LegalShield. Much more concise, much more clear message. And it's total access, total freedom. So what I'd like to do is just give you a quick little overview. What they do is they do for legal services and identity theft costs what auto, fire, health, that sort of thing does. You know, a little bit of money each month, and you have access to one of the most powerful law firms in California, and the services of one of the world's largest, most comprehensive, professional risk management fraud investigation firm, Crowe International, was partnered with LegalShield to provide an identity theft program for the members. You get unlimited telephone consultation. And by the way, there's plans for individual, family, small business, whether it be home-based business or brick-and-mortar businesses, and commercial driver plans, etc., even law enforcement officer plans. And but I'm just going to give you a little overview on the individual family plan, and that is you get unlimited telephone consultation. You get letters and documents reviewed, and for your telephone calls, if necessary, done. It's really comprehensive in that regard in the preventative area. But probably the most popular item is that 70%, I'll just digress just 1 second, 70% of us, as in the United States, 70% of us in this room don't have a will. You get a fully executed will with yearly updates, and a spousal will for mere $20, free if you activate within the first 3 months of getting the membership. With yearly updates, as I said, and that's incredibly popular. I asked the managing partner of the law firm that handles us in California, what the value is if somebody comes in off the street for it. He says $750, and that's part of this monthly membership cost. You get trial services in civil disputes. Somebody sues you. You have the first year 75 hours on up to 335 hours that my wife and I have after 5 years, in case somebody takes you to court. And statistically, you're 3 times more apt to be in court than you are in a hospital. We're one of the most litigious societies on the face of the earth, if not the most litigious society. IRS audit services, 50 hours, and on. It's just a whole host of services that you get for this, and anything beyond the plan limits, it's 25% discount off of the attorney's hourly rate, whether it's our provider law firm, Parker Stanbury, or a referral local attorney who's in our network, you get 25% off of their hourly rate. So it's a really, really strong, powerful coverage. My daughter, for example, was hounded through a collection agency action on a bunch of magazines. You know, these call-up telephone solicitation. This is being recorded. Now all of a sudden she owes them $750. She turned it over to Parker Stanbury, one letter with a letterhead about this many attorneys, and they were immediately sending a letter to my daughter saying, you no longer owe this money. I wasn't responsible, but I facilitated membership to the single mom some time ago that was just totally at her wit's end on a home being foreclosed. Parker Stanbury has a foreclosure specialist department, if you will, and they basically beat up the lender and got that lender to do a modification package for that woman who saved her home. You know, those are really feel-good things for me. I've been in Rotary for over 25 years, and I have a real strong altruistic sense about myself. And I love the act of helping people. And this is a passion for me. This is so proactively protective for people, for not only themselves, their families, but also for businesses. A while back, a few years ago, this Kroll International, as I mentioned, approached LegalShield and offered to design an identity theft program for the members. And, obviously they wanted access to the numerous million members around the country and Canada for themselves. And they created a great, strong program that is really, really valuable. What you get basically is credit report, credit monitoring. Every month I get an email, my wife and I get an email that says no activity reported, so forth. And the biggest thing though is that it's a restoration-based identity theft shield program, meaning that if member does get hit by identity theft in one of the major areas, particularly because it's not just your credit, it's other areas. They have licensed fraud investigators. You sign over a little power of attorney to them, and they will pursue the situation till no matter how long it takes, till the cows come home, to make you whole again, with no time spent on your part, no extra money, all part of that monthly fee, which by the way is $1.10 a month, or day rather, cost, putting in perspective. So that's really powerful because there's so many things in this packet that I put together for you. There's investigator tips that you should take a look at. I'm not going to take a lot of time going through all of this, but the basic areas that you need to think about are financial, medical, your driver's license number, your character, criminal, situations where social security numbers are stolen and so on. There's these areas that they can nail you, all over the place, and you just have to be diligent about this. So I included in this some reminders about, some investigator tips from Kroll International. The second page is the 10 easy steps to protect your personal information. So many of these things are common sense, by locking and shredding, keeping your billing and banking statements, personal records locked up. And you just go through this and you'll see, we remind you just to be that much more diligent. Maybe some things that you need to think about. There's some 800 numbers to refer to get yourself off of these pre-approved lists. They send you all this stuff in the mail, and And, you know, there's people out there that are dumpster diving, you know, to glean information about you. So it just, you know, they're coming at you from all sides. You just need to be diligent. Furthermore, there's some advice on targeted phishing scams. You know, all these different emails. I get these emails every day. You know, it's crazy. We all do. And it's just crazy. And God forbid you open up the wrong one out of curiosity or whatever. And then social network. Listen, I'm a Neanderthal when it comes to social networking. My daughters, I have two daughters, 23 and 25, and I'm a great source of humor to them. You know, Dad, you know, come on, blah, 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 get with the program. But, you know, I also know concepts, and I know what's right and what's wrong, and in social networking, there's a lot of exposure, a lot of vulnerability out there. Well, you hear every day people, you know, the settings are in question and so on. You know, you really have to be diligent on your privacy. Okay. You know, that's it. I just think that you know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You know, not trying to hard sell or anything like that, but you have my information. You know, I'm available to answer any questions for you. Just drop me an email, give me a call. Happy to help you. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Is there any questions, comments, pro, con, or what is it?
I'll give you a testimonial.
All right.
I signed up to do an e-commerce business that cost me about $7,500, and they didn't come through with their promise, and I was really upset. So, did my due diligence, I wrote my own letter, and then I contacted Parker Stanberry, which I'm a member of Prepaid Legal, and they sent the letter for me, and thank God I had my card on Discover, and purchased it through them, because, I mean, they're still calling me. I can ignore their calls, because they had until the end of January 31st to contact me with any information, and they didn't. So, it's done. I don't owe them any money. And I got my credit back.
There you go. Very good. Very good. That's a great story. Thank you for that. And that brought to mind one other point to me. People say, you know, wait a minute, $1.10 a day cost. What kind of attorney am I going to get for that? You know, did he pass the bar, or did he go in the bar and have some drinks? You don't know. But the concept is brilliant. It's really brilliant. It's this provider law firm concept is the fact that Parker Stanberry is paid enormous amounts of money every month. And it's public knowledge, so I don't mind sharing with you. It's about $1.5 million a month. We are far and away their #1 client collectively. So when we call, they know they're talking to their #1 client, and we are treated accordingly. Trust me on that. And they don't want to do anything to, you know, roll up a bunch of negative situations against them, because they are monitored stringently by corporate. And they're only on a 30-day contract. So they know that if they don't perform, it's an amazing thing. They just really hop to it for us. So with that, any other questions or comments?
I just have one personal one. If I've been on Prepaid Legal for a number of years, it sounds like LegalShield's
Oh, you're still.
got a little bit more going on than the package maybe that I purchased at that time. Am I grandfathered in? Do I have this identity theft?
Same. Well, if you did not purchase identity theft, you need to purchase it, because it is a separate item in that regard. Okay, you don't automatically get it. It's like anything else. You have to purchase it, and it's purchasable as a standalone basis. You can just do a identity theft program, a couple of different levels. One for all 3 credit reports, or another level until just a few bucks less for just the one credit report line. But yeah, it's not a grant. It's the same company, and everything that you have carries over consistently, but if you have not had identity theft all along, you need to get it. You know, so I would suggest that if you still have a relationship with the person that sold you the prepaid, contact them, or by all means call me. I would. I'd appreciate the opportunity to help you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
So is this around the country? Like if I have relatives in other states, how do you
Good
do it?
question. Great question. Yes, it's available in every state except one. I can't remember which one it is.
Alaska.
Is that what it is?
Alaska.
Okay. So yes, it's all across the United States. I can help you in any state you want, other than one that requires a license, because in some states it's considered insurance, so you have to have a license. And then also the cool thing too is that wherever you go, or a coverable, minor, kid away at school is covered in that state, wherever they are at. This goes it has no borders in terms of coverage. And if a college gets in trouble back on the East Coast, a referral attorney in that neighborhood, if you will be assigned to take care of that person's issues. Okay? So, with that, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I really enjoyed this group.
I'm behind you, give them a better hand. Let's go.
Just big round of applause!
I want to say thank you very much, John, for coming out and giving us those great nuggets today. I hope you all got something out of it.